Assembly Speaker Newzroom has welcomed the decision by the Constitutional Court to dismiss a reconciliation rescission application by suspended Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. She went to the Constitutional Court asking it to rescind its original decision, which rejected her first rescission application in May this year. Mkhwebane went back hoping it would reconsider its decision and halt the parliamentary inquiry investigating her fitness to hold office. But now the court has reiterated its stance that Mkhwebane didn't make a case for it to rescind and has dismissed her bid. The latest application has been described as an abuse of court processes. Meanwhile, Mkhwebane had this to say about the Constitutional Court's decision.
Remember, such issues are meant to develop a jurisprudence. So it was going to be very helpful for even them, the Constitutional Court, to assist. And remember, we also had the issue of Abramji, who knew the outcome of the judgment before even we argued the matter. And it's so unfortunate that the Chief Justice just gave Judge Athi that matter to deal with, and in other words, the judge just actually a retired judge just considered that matter and made findings. In other words, just reviewing the closing report of the Public Protector, and we know that any Public Protector report should be reviewed in court. So that was one element we wanted them also to focus on. So it's so unfortunate that we cannot comment much because it's just a paragraph.
While the inquiry into Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office continues, Athi Mtongana is watching those proceedings in Parliament for us. Of course, Athi, it's yet another loss in court for the suspended Public Protector. One wonders at which point then this inquiry will also be dealing with the matters of the court's cases that she has lost, unfortunately, through these various means she's pursued, before we get into what unfolded today.
Of course, Kathy, part of the reasons why the Democratic Alliance former Chief Whip Natasha Mazone tabled that motion against Mkhwebane, it was at the back of many court decisions that ruled against her report. You would recall that some of the people that she investigated, including the SARS investigation report into the so-called rogue unit, which was taken on review, is part of the reason why the DA tabled a motion against the Public Protector, saying that her interpretation of the law is flawed, and that if the courts in some instances find that she shouldn't have ruled or investigated some of these cases in the manner that she investigated them to a point where they were taken on review, then it means that she's not fit to hold office. And that's why that independent panel was formed, and which subsequently found prima facie evidence of incompetence. And so some of the issues, even the evidence leaders bring before the committee, are issues that stem from the court judgments. But of course, this particular committee is independent of the courts. They are looking at information that will help them determine the veracity of the charges that have been put forward against the Public Protector. And the fourth charge that the Public Protector faces before this impeachment inquiry involve misconduct insofar as allegations that she failed to protect senior officials from harassment, intimidation, and victimization from the former CEO, Vusi Mahlangu. That's the evidence and the testimony that we heard today from a senior official that testified, Ms. Mokhaladi, who took her suspension all the way to the Labour Court, which ruled in her favor, and she was subsequently then reinstated in her position. But I'd like us to listen to the Public Protector and what her remarks are on top of of the accusations that she faces about her authoritarian management style. And she says she'd rather be labeled a slave driver, and she knows that she's even been referred to as consequence management because she's really been putting pressure on investigators to conclude the investigations before the office.
I wouldn't mind to be called a slave driver, and I think if they say I'm horrible, by making sure that when you receive a matter and you don't deal with the matter, you sit with the matter for 2 years, and when I need that matter, when the time has arrived, and then I'm told about being insensitive and putting pressure on people, unfortunately, I still maintain I wouldn't allow that. Then as a country, it means we are just perpetuating all this maladministration. And it's very disappointing as well to see that narration as if it's this person who would put pressure on people. We are paying the people to do their work. Taxpayers are paying for people, public servants, to do their work. We investigate them. So why mustn't we put pressure? So I think I can go to town on that, and I wouldn't regret doing that.
All right, at Mtongana, we'll leave it there. Of course, that inquiry continues in Parliament. There's been mixed